Hello and welcome to the fifth and final episode of this tutorial series on jazz chord abbreviations. In this last episode we will recap everything we've learnt so far, apply it to some more extreme examples, and cover alt chords as well. So to recap, in any chord, minor or M only refers to the third. For sevenths, we assume that the seventh is a minor seventh unless it has MAJ or diminished before it. For ninths and seconds, we assume that they are major unless if they follow a flat or sharp symbol. For 11ths and fourths, we assume that they are a perfect fourth above the root unless if they follow a sharp. For 13ths and sixths, it's the same as ninths and seconds. Assume major unless if you see flat before them. For 11ths and 13ths, there are usually too many notes, so for an 11th, you can omit the third if it's major and the fifth if you like. For a 13th, omit the 11th and maybe the 9th, 5th, and even the root if you like. With this logic, we can pretty much work out what any chord spelling means. Let's have a look at these examples. C7 sharp 9 flat 13. So here we have a C major triad with a minor 7th, a sharp 9th, and a flat 13th. So C, E, G, B flat, D sharp, and A flat. C9 sus 4. Here we have a C major triad with a minor 7th and a major 9th, but the third has been raised to a perfect fourth as it is a sus 4 chord. So C, F, G, B flat, and D. C major 9 sharp 11 omit 5. Here we have a C major triad with a major 7th and a major 9th and also a sharp 11th. We also omit the 5th, so C, E, B, D, F sharp, and no G. Here is one in a different key. E flat minor major 13 flat 9. Now, this looks horrendous, but again we can break it down. We have an E flat minor triad with a major 7th, minor 9th, and a major 13th. In this case we will also omit the 11th. E flat, G flat, B flat, D, F flat, and C. Let's also look at the errors in these chord names and try and uncover what they might mean. C minor sus 2. The error here is that there should not be a minor or M. The minor is referring to the third, but the third is omitted from this chord because it is a sus 2 chord. So the third is replaced by a second. This should either be a C sus 2, or if they want the second and the third, C minor add 9. C minor 9 sharp 13. In case you were wondering why ninths can change with a sharp but not 13ths, if we were to augment the 13th it would be an A sharp, enharmonically equivalent to a B flat, which the 9 here is already implying as the presence of a dominant 7th or minor 7th. Therefore, this should either be a C minor 9, or, if they are trying to imply that the 13th is major in a minor chord, they don't need to do that because the 13th is already major unless if it has a flat before it. So that would be C minor 13. D omit 3 add 9. Now I have seen this chord before in a published score. Technically it isn't wrong, as unlike the previous two examples there are no extensions that contradict each other. However, it is unnecessarily long and it can be much shorter. D omit 3 is a D5 chord, and then when you add a ninth you have D, E, and A. These are the notes of a D sus 2 chord. Much easier to read and far less to think about. Now let's look at altered chords. In jazz, altered or alt chords are chords where both the 5th and the 9th are either raised or flattened by a semitone, or omitted from the chord completely. In other words, an altered chord cannot contain a perfect 5th, nor can it contain a major 9th. It is also typically used as a dominant chord, so these are some variants of a C dominant altered chord. As some of these have wilder names, 7 alt is easier to write, and it also gives the performer flexibility as to which chord they play. However, if multiple instrumentalists in a jazz ensemble have to play an alt chord, it is worth working out which variation of the chord they settle on, as some can cause an unwanted clash if played simultaneously. That concludes the tutorial series on jazz chord abbreviations. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this has been useful for you. Keep playing your jazz chords and just remember to spell them right.